Hello, welcome back to the fourth of the New Year's Six Bowls and the last standalone video. I believe the next video I'll do will be just a big, long-form playoff preview. But we have the Penn State Nittany Lions, 11th in the country, 10-2, versus the 8-seeded Utah Utes, 10-3. This will be the 5 o'clock afternoon game on New Year's New Year's Day. The second day, obviously, because normally it's on New Year's Day, and that's what messes everything up. Just want to say thank you to the Rose Bowl for not being as pretentious as they've been in the years past. The committee itself, not the game. The game's always awesome. The committee is the problem, and they've gotten out of the way of playoff expansion. So we'll now have a 12-team playoff coming 2 seasons from now. So thank you for that, Rose Bowl. As for everything else going on, this game is very interesting. Sean Clifford, off the field, had a DUI, so he is, I believe, playing as of now. I haven't really seen anybody even talk about that story, so that's another maybe could be another video. But Cam Rising and the Utes will come in looking to win their Rose Bowl after making their second in 2 years. Last year they lost at the end due to a ridiculous coaching malpractice, in which I was tweeting out and wondering if you could fire a coach in a bowl game. That doesn't matter, because they let Jack Smith and Jigba and Stroud single-handedly, those two, beat the entire defense 100 times. Cam Rising played his face off, and it just didn't matter. At the end of the game, there was some shenanigans. If I remember correctly, it was like a field goal. They didn't call timeouts. Just let Ohio State walk down the field and kick a field goal. It was weird, very weird. That being said, this year, Utah gets the job done. Penn State is a very interesting team this season. They were, is that really your best win for a long time for most of the media? Like when it's like, Michigan played nobody non-conference, blah, blah, blah. Ohio State played nobody non-conference. Well, what's it called? Notre Dame, who cares? Whatever. Blah, 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 blah. And it's like, yeah, well, listen. Penn State's a good team. They just, unfortunately, are the third best team in the arguably, I would say it is, best half of a conference in football, the Big Ten East. 2 playoff teams, combined 24-1 record, 17-1 in the conference. Michigan, Ohio State, along with Penn State. Maryland's pretty good. Michigan State, not so much. Indiana, Rutgers, yikes. But it's top loaded. So Penn State for a long time was is this your only win? Like, Michigan, what's your resume? Oh, we beat the brakes off of Penn State. Ohio State, what's your resume? We've beaten everybody by 2 scores. Barely beat Penn State by 2 scores, but, whatever. We're in the playoff already. Who cares? So Penn State went from underrated to overrated, and I believe they're now coming back down to normally rated or correctly assessed. They probably should be maybe top 10, maybe a bit higher than USC probably, but, yeah, who knows. Penn State will try to run the ball here. Utah's defense is relatively good at stopping on the ground, only allowing 100 yards a rush on the ground. Both teams are pretty good against it on the ground, so expect some throwing in the first half to open up the run game in the second half. Maybe a first half over, second half under sort of action if you want to do something along with that. The spread itself, we have Utah as a 2.5-point favorite, and the over-under is 52.5. I do like the Utes here, as I said at the top. Cam Rising is going to really make a statement here. He's a pretty solid quarterback. Kid's a gamer. Goes out there and gets the job done when he needs to do it. And I think that continues in this game. They'll really be doing what they can on the ground, against a pretty good Penn State run defense. But as you saw, Michigan was going good. So the pass yards allowed for both teams, 200. I mean, it's pretty much identical stats. Really, I'm looking at it up and down here. So, Vegas has it as a close game. I just think Utah is a bit more fired up. They've been there before. They want to go. But, obviously a Rose Bowl win for Penn State would be a pretty good season. Would it mean as much to Utah winning the Pac-12 and the Rose Bowl? Absolutely not. But, again, it's all about momentum. In order to catch up with Michigan and Ohio State, you got to get momentum. Ohio State might be taking a step back this year. Don't quote this next year when we lose to them at home. But they might be taking a bit of a step back, and you could sneak in as the second-best team in the conference, which we've seen. You can get you in, obviously, with Michigan here. If Penn State goes 11-1 next year and only loses to Michigan, could they sneak in? Probably not, because they're not the Ohio State. But, again, we've seen it before, so it can happen. In winning a Rose Bowl next year, if they go 11-1 and end up finishing 12-1, winning the Rose Bowl, that's a statement. Because you got to start getting these recruits going before the Big Ten West wakes up, because they've made a lot of really good hires and it could get pretty ugly pretty quick. As for Utah, winning these Pac-12 championships means more now than it will in 2 years when USC and UCLA are gone. So it's a big win here. Winning the Rose Bowl would be huge. Obviously, Oregon will still be there, and now that Colorado is going to be waking up with the Deion hype train, that could change it. But USC and UCLA are, when people think of Pac-12, it's usually that. Obviously, I think of Oregon and DeAnthony Thomas and those guys, but that's just me. So Utah will take the win here. Hopefully, I get all these games right. That'd be pretty cool. And the next thing you should see, long video form, will be the college football playoff preview, or a special Christmas video, which that might be me time traveling now, because I might post these later and the Christmas video next. But we'll see. Thank you for the support on this channel. I know it's only been like a month or so that I've been doing this. I got I think 10 or 11 subscribers now, which is awesome. A lot of views on the shorts. So thank you to all that watch these videos religiously. Thank you for those who just pop in and hit a like button, subscribe, or whatever. All the support's great. Thank you, and go Blue.